Hey guys, it's finally time for the epic fight. Now when we have the new Samsung Galaxy Nexus, the next Nexus phone is going to be the next killer phone. Actually, it's the next Nexus killer phone, but is it really the killer phone if we just talk about hardware? No, probably not. So it's time for a comparison. The Galaxy Nexus versus iPhone 4S versus Samsung Galaxy S2. Here we go. I have the Samsung Galaxy S2 right now, the white version, the European version uses in this picture, but it's time to compare. So if we just start off with operating system, obviously the next or the new one, Galaxy Nexus, come with Android 4.0. We have the Samsung Galaxy S2 that's where right now with like 2.3.5, maybe in 2.3.7 I think, but still it's Android 2.3 with Samsung's own TouchWiz UI, the 4.0 version versus iOS 5. So, an interesting thing here is the Samsung Galaxy S2 gonna get a upgrade to Android 4.0. I'm not so sure about that. Maybe if you hack, but still, will it look good? Because Android 4.0 have 3 virtual buttons. So, are you gonna have those 3 virtual buttons and then these 3 like real buttons, capacitive and physical buttons on the Galaxy S2? You're gonna have like 6 buttons. It's gonna look weird. So I'm not sure if it's gonna look that good and sexy. So if you wanna get the real Android 4.0 experience, you should probably buy the Galaxy Nexus this year, because it's probably not gonna have another Android 4.0 device coming out this year. That kind of sucks. Yes, and then we have iOS 5 there, which is the new version of iOS that just came out here the 12th of October actually, so still kind of new and everything. So this display, this is very interesting. The biggest display is obviously on the Galaxy Nexus, 4.65 inch. Then we have the S2, 4.3 inch. And then we have the 3.5 very high res iOS 5 display with like 330 ppi. So first off, the biggest one of them have a 1280 or it have a Super AMOLED technology. If you compare that to the Galaxy S2, it also has Super AMOLED, but it has Super AMOLED Plus. So an interesting question here is that the Galaxy S2 screen going to look better because they have a plus on the Super AMOLED, or is that Super AMOLED on the Galaxy Nexus going to look better because of HD resolution, 1280 x 720, or as they usually say here, 720 x 1280. I'm not so sure, but they do have a high resolution, but I'm not sure about the difference between Super AMOLED and Super AMOLED Plus. And then obviously we have Apple there with the extremely good display with extremely a lot of pixels, more than any one of these. The height, width and thickness, obviously the biggest one is the Galaxy Nexus, and the thinnest is the Galaxy S2. So not much to talk about there. And then we have the weight. If you want to have a slick device, doesn't weigh that much, still the Galaxy S2 is the winner, 116 grams. The build quality will probably have plastic, I think, on the Galaxy Nexus, but it have a little more weight, but that's probably just because the screen is bigger and the overall smartphone is bigger. But if you like the build, if you don't like plastic, you should go with iPhone 4S glass covers. But if you're gonna drop the phone, go with an Android device because you're gonna break it. Also, the processor is kind of interesting here. Everyone is running on the Cortex A9 processor, kind of like, but the Android versions are higher clocked, and I think the Exynos chipset that the Galaxy S2 is using here is better than the TI OMAP 4460 that the Galaxy Nexus is using. I think that could be the same processor as the Samsung Galaxy Nexus or Samsung Galaxy S is using. I'm not so sure though. 512 megabytes of RAM on the iPhone 4S, but it's a smaller screen, so it probably doesn't need it anymore. Versus 1 gigs of RAM on both the Galaxy Nexus and the Galaxy S2. And also the storage is very interesting. I think you can have up to 64 gigabytes in each of these, but then you need to use on Android versions the micro SD slot. And yes, there are bigger Android slots now than 32 gigabytes. There are 64 gigabyte micro SD. So if you want a lot of memory, you should go to an Android device. Also, the cameras here is very interesting. Also, you can don't have a micro SD slot on an iPhone, but still they have a 64 gigabyte option, so you still have a lot of memory there. But if you want more, go with Android, bigger micro SD slot than 32 gigabytes. The camera is very interesting. I want to see the camera quality, but I still think that the 8 megapixel camera on the Galaxy S2 is better because it's 8 megapixel, and iPhone 4S camera is probably better than the 8 megapixel on the Galaxy S2. And then we have the 5 megapixel on the Galaxy Nexus. That's kind of disappointing, but still 1080p, 30 frames per second, all of those things. All of these devices obviously have LED flash, Wi-Fi same, and then network. We're gonna have LTE, better speeds on the Galaxy Nexus, so if you wanna run with speeds, go to Galaxy Nexus. The iPhone 4S have HD DPA, and that's also still pretty good, up to 14 megabits per second, so that's still pretty decent. Micro USB, everyone's using like micro USB 2.0. Bluetooth, Apple's better there with 4.0, but still, how do you use? You can only like use it with headset and stuff like that with Apple devices, and those kind of suck. Availability. So obviously the iPhone 4S and the Galaxy 2 is currently available, but this new one is gonna come in Europe and in the US in November the 10th, or yeah, November the 10th from Verizon. And then worldwide also is going to be sometime November. Sensors, we have like a accelerometer sensor on both the Galaxy S2 and on the iPhone 4S. Doesn't seem like the Galaxy Nexus have that. Maybe they just don't know if they have that. But quickly a comparison, which one do you think is the badass phone so far? I still think the Galaxy S2 it's better because of the screen. It have a big screen. If the Galaxy S2 would come with a 3.5-inch screen, then I would probably go with iPhone 4S. But now when I have a bigger screen, nicer to surf with, then I'm definitely gonna go with the Galaxy S2. That's gonna be the winner here, at least if you ask me. But if you're looking for a much bigger screen, faster speed, if you are in an LTE area, then you should probably go with the Galaxy Nexus and want to be one of the first guys to try out a full Android 4.0 experience. So yeah, that's my opinions. What are your opinions? I want to know. So awesome, sweet, see.